So in this video, I'm going to talk about the second example of solving the square root equation right over here. And the question asks us 2y plus 5 is equal to the square root of 15 minus 2y. And we need to remove this radical on the right side, and there is a way of removing it. We can take square of it. Since we take square of it, we also need to take square of the left side to keep it equal. And I'll write this term again. So 2y plus 5 should be equal to 2y plus 5 squared should be equal to the radical in this square we're going to cancel out. Only 15 minus 2y we're going to leave in the right side. And we can simplify the right side right over here. 2y plus 5 squared is equal to 2y plus 5 times 2y plus 5. And that should be equal to, in the right side, 15 minus 2y. And we can simplify this left side right over here. And it should be equal to, so if you use this 3 proper in order to simplify it into quadratic equation, we're going to be 4y squared plus 10y plus 10y plus 25 should be equal to, the right side, 15 minus 2y. We need to remove all the expressions on the right side, and the way to do it is add 2y on the right side and the subtract 15 to the left side. And so in the right side, everything we're going to cancel out, but we also need to add 2y to the left side and subtract 15 to the left side to keep it equal. So in the right side, we're going to be equal to 0, and in the left side, we're going to be equal to 4y squared plus 10y plus 10y is equal to 20y plus 2y is equal to 22y plus 25 minus 15 is equal to 10 is equal to 0. And we can simplify more by dividing every terms into 2. Because the every coefficients of the each terms include 2. So if you simplify this more, we're going to be 2y squared plus 11y plus 5 should be equal to 0. The reason I'm not taking the reason why I'm not writing dividing 2 to the right side, because 0 divided by 2 will just going to be equal to 0. And we can simplify this term right over here, since we know that it is a quadratic equation by looking at the biggest exponent, which is equal to 2. So if we simplify it into binomial, I'll write this down again. So it means 2y squared plus 11y plus 5 should be equal to 0. And the something times something should be 2y squared. That means 2 times 1. And something times something should be equal to 5, and there will be 1 times 5. And we need to add both sides, and it should be 11y. And if we add it, multiply and multiply, we're going to be 2 times 5 is 10, and 1 times 1 is equal to 1. So 10 plus 1 is equal to 11. So if you make it into binomial, we're going to be 2y plus 1, and then 2y plus 1, and then y plus 5. And we made it into binomial, and so this should be equal to 0. That means this term should be equal to 0, or this term should be equal to 0. And let's do this second term first, which is y plus 5. So y plus 5 should be equal to 0. We can subtract 5 to the both sides. So that means y, it should be equal to negative 5. This is our solution, first solution. And let's solve for the 2y plus 1. So 2y plus 1 should be equal to 0. And we can subtract 1 to the both sides. And we can divide 2 to the both sides, which will going to be equal to, y should be equal to negative 1 over 2. And we need to input this values into the original equation in order to find if it's the right solution or not. So if you write the original equation right over here, so it is 2y plus 5 should be equal to square root of 15 minus 2y. And we can input negative 5 first into y value, which we're going to be, so 2 times negative 5 plus 5 should be equal to square root of 15 minus 2 times negative 5. If it's simplified, 2 times negative 5, we're going to be negative 10, plus 5, we're going to be negative 5. And it should be equal to square root of 15 minus 2 times 5. The negative, we're going to turn into positive, and it we're going to be equal to square root. So if you look at this, it's going to be square root of 25, which we're going to be equal to 5. But negative 5 is not equal to 5, so this is not our solution. And let's look at the next solution, which is y should be equal to negative 1 over 2. So I'll erase this a little bit. So here's our original equation, which is 2y plus 5 should be equal to 15 minus 2y. We can input negative 1 over 2 instead of y value, and if we do that, 2 times minus 1 over 2 plus 5 should be equal to the square root of 15 minus 2 times minus 1 over 2. And if you simplify this, 2 times 2 we're going to cancel out. 2 times 1 over 2 we're going to cancel out. And we're going to be negative 1 plus 5, which we're going to be 4. Should be equal to square root of 2 and 1 over 2 we're going to cancel out. Negative, negative, we're going to positive. So 15 plus 1 should be 16. So in the left side, we're going to be equal to 4. Minus 1 plus 5 is 4. It should be equal to square root of 16, which is 4. So 4 is equal to 4. So that means our second solution, which is y should be equal to 1 minus 1 over 2, is our solution for this original equation right over here.